Welcome everyone. Today we have with us Kofoed, our Director of Administrative Services and City Recorder. So welcome, thank you for being with us, Finn.
Thank you for having me.
So I would imagine that probably most of our public are not familiar exactly what a city recorder does and what goes on in the office and what all of your duties and responsibilities cover and entail. Can you give us a little bit of an idea of what goes on in the recorder's office?
Sure. There are a wide range of duties that we take care of in the recorder's office, from development to helping residents and the public with the cemetery. Chiefly, I'm the official records keeper for the city, and with that we manage all of the documents that come through. According to state statute, we have retention schedules, and some documents need to be maintained permanently, and then others have different schedules, and we manage those according to what's established by state statute. Some of the other things that we do is we work with mayor and council to make sure that the meetings function, city council meetings function, and that they're properly noticed, giving the public the information that they need, knowing what is coming to city council for approval. And then following the approval of items, we maintain the minutes of the meetings. The minutes are the official record of what happened at the city council meetings, and upon the follow-up items with city council would make sure that any contracts that have been approved, that they go through the right process. I attest to all of the contracts along with your signature, and there's a lot of follow-up work that goes into the city council meetings, and that takes up a lot of our time. In addition to doing that, we have the videos and requirements that are in place with the Open and Public Meetings Act, making sure that if an item is required to have notice, that notice is given, and that we are complying with the laws of the city and also the state.
So there's a lot of ground you're covering, a lot that you're keeping track of, both leading up to meetings, during the meetings, and after the meetings.
Yes. Making
sure all of that lines up, and keeping all of us, everyone else here at the city, on track and proper and legal and recorded, and making sure that it's all clear and clean, and every T is crossed, every I is dotted, et cetera, et cetera.
We certainly try.
So yeah, that's a lot to cover in a busy city like this. In addition, there's all of the development paperwork to take care of. There's permitting, there's plats to be recorded. Can you tell us a little bit about that part of your role?
Certainly. We don't do much with permitting. However, and once again, the result of city council meetings with the approval of certain developments, there's follow-up work for my office with that, and one of those items would be the recording of the subdivisions. So we work closely with planning and engineering, and to ensure that the developments that are approved, then the subdivisions are recorded according to the council's desires, and that in and of itself just requires that any bonding be put in place, that the developers provide water for the subdivisions, and pay whatever fees are associated with those, and it is time consuming.
So in this recording of plots, deeds, do you do recording of deeds as well? So there's a lot to keep track of. You've got the land, you've got the water. And all of that has to line up, and in order for a development to move forward, there's a lot of detail to be recorded, because otherwise that's the only thing we have to refer back to, right?
Certainly. We have checklists for our checklists for our
Okay.
checklists, and we rely upon them heavily. We have a lot of paperwork that comes in and out of our office, and it's very easy for things to get misplaced and to lose track of who has what. So we do spend a lot of time tracking and making sure that we know where specific documents are, because there's a lot of time and effort that goes into collecting signatures, especially if a document requires multiple signatures. We have situations where we have interlocal agreements and you're dealing with multiple entities, and so it's important to be able to know where these documents are at all times.
Well, memories fail us sometimes, and we forget, different parties may forget exactly what they agreed to, or their memory may be slightly different. And so we have to have those documents to be able to refer back to keep things on track.
There's a reason we write things down. And, we rely heavily on our codes too, and codes are always changing. And it's hard to keep track of what is current at the time that you need it. So we're constantly referring back to what was approved to make sure that we have the exact documentation, and we know we're relying upon exactly what was approved by the council.
Well, it does seem like just about everything that happens in the city goes through your office in one form or another. So Finn, you've been with Eagle Mountain City for a while, right?
I have. I've been with the city for 19 years and been working in municipal government for 23.
So that's a lot of institutional knowledge, and you've seen the city change, evolve, grow, progress. And so what's it like working with the city today as opposed to in the past?
I think we've always been busy, but obviously things have changed with having additional staff to be able to help facilitate the workload. And I think that's probably one of our biggest challenges is there aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done, and people are dependent on deadlines, and time is money, and just trying to work to accommodate and facilitate the needs of the public and developers and so forth. I appreciate the fact that I've been able to develop relationships over the years where people know that we're working hard to help them out, and so they're patient with us. They know the workload, and they know eventually we'll get them taken care of. But that's probably one of our biggest challenges is delivery of items to help keep things moving.
And what has that workload been like? So we just finished 2021, right? A rapid growth year. So how much volume of development work went through your office?
As I mentioned earlier on, we recorded 59 subdivision plats, which we have never done before. And it was a lot of work, a lot of prep work, a lot of follow-up work, and everything that goes along with the subdivision, managing and monitoring bonds. Every bond that is placed with a subdivision has to be processed. Once a subdivision has gone into warranty, we will release any funds that we're holding, and then maintain a percent of the funds for a year, and those bonds then have to go back to the City Council to be acknowledged that they're being released. So everything that we do, it requires a process, and whether we're working with developers to get funds released, or processing payments, or just documenting information that's coming in. It's just never slows down.
Tracking all of that, and just for a reference, so our viewers know. So 59 plats, right?
Correct.
In the past year, and in past years there have been few and sometimes zero. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
So that's just to give a little bit of reference that 59 is that a record number?
It is a record number.
Okay. So yeah, that's a lot to keep track of. And then with your institutional knowledge, with you tracking all of that, you're a great resource to all of the staff of the city and anyone else that, if a developer needs to know how things run in the city and what's expected and what needs to be recorded and when it needs to be done, then you're available to walk them through the process and answer those questions. And we definitely appreciate all of your hard work in the city and can see the impact that you make, even though it's somewhat behind the scenes, but a vital role. And so that's much appreciated. And thank you for being with us today, and look forward to further conversations and updates on Recorder's Office and your role with the city. And so thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's a team effort. We have a great staff, and we wouldn't have the successes that we have without them.
All right, thank you to our viewers. We'll catch you again next time. Thank you.